All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Tonight's Zoom is an opportunity for the parents to learn a little bit more about our JUMP program at MacKillop. My name is Michelle Baxter and I am the leader of Outreach. We also have a number of other staff that are on here tonight who I will introduce shortly. Just before we begin, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. So I wish to acknowledge the Aboriginal people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we are all on tonight. I pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging, and recognise the continuing connection and contribution to this land. I would like to extend this respect to any Aboriginal people who are present on this Zoom tonight. Okay, so our JUMP team, you can see on the screen. So obviously myself, as the leader of Outreach, and I had quite a bit with the beginning of the JUMP program, which started about 6 years ago. We also have Mrs. Belinda Wells as the assistant leader of Outreach. Then we have Mrs. Maisie Tenev, who is our youth ministry coordinator, and also Sister Gigi or Sister Jennifer, who is our pastoral support. And together we work really closely to support the students on their JUMP journey, working together on a number of programs, but also to assist them with the administration of their hours and getting them into Compass. All right, so in terms of what the actual JUMP program is and the benefits for your child. So the JUMP program is a community service and outreach program. It stands for Josephites Undertaking Mission Projects. Now it is a compulsory program for all of our students in year 7 to year 11. Now the year 7 students had a bit of a briefing on the program last week. So they have a little bit of an understanding. Some students have actually already well involved in a number of programs at the school and even outside of the school. But the students undertake the program generally from term 4, starting now, or starting next term actually, but some are actually starting now, and we're going to actually allow them to log the hours that they're starting to collect. So they can log those hours now. Students required 15 hours over the calendar year. So the calendar year generally begins from term 4 all the way through to term 3 of which will be 2023, and then it resets each year. Now over that time, students can work their way through 20 hours, 40 hours and so on, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Now, in terms of the benefits for students or children in general, we found that it has a really positive impact on their mental health and well-being. So giving of themselves and service to another, it's really good for them. So it's not just about what do I get out of it, but giving to another person combats their stress, their loneliness, helping others that may be socially isolated and vulnerable, but they also get a lot out of that for themselves. And also they're able to share their own gifts and talents, but also learn some new skills along the way. So just a little bit more, some important information about the JUMP program. So as I mentioned, year 7 beginning the program in term 4. As I mentioned, we've also changed it so they can begin the program and start logging their hours from now. It's probably a little bit tricky for them in the very beginning stages, but they will get support from their pastoral teachers and of course from us. There is lots of information, which I'll get to in a moment, where that information is. But as the parents, we just ask that you support them at home as well to get those hours in. Now, there is an award system that encourages the students with their acts of service and also to acknowledge the wonderful work that they're doing. So as we mentioned, yes, it's great that they're out there doing stuff for others. So we want them to be rewarded for what they're doing. Now, if there's students on there, we want you to know that this is really good for you guys, you know, when you're going for your first job. some of the activities that you guys will come out and do. So for example, you'll see on the screen now, heading out to Coast Shelter. So Coast Shelter, we have a really strong partnership with this organisation, doing lots of things here that you can put on a resume when you go out for a job. It looks wonderful. So not only are you doing things for others, but the fact that you are building your skills and building your capacity to learn new things, when you go for your first job, it looks really, really good that you've already got some of these skills that maybe another child or another student doesn't have. So you can present that. Something else is going out to Lakes Food Care. So that's local, just at Toukley. Stacking shelves, being able to speak to people. These are things that, someone who is maybe looking to employ you, it looks really good for you. Okay, so something to think about. All right, so quite a lot of things that we have been building upon over the past 6 years. So you'll see we don't want the students to feel overwhelmed, and quite often a lot of the kids are already doing stuff, both inside of school. They'll be working on, whether it's with Maisie or Mrs. Tenev in youth ministry or helping the teachers at school, but also outside of school. So you'll see there, they can get involved with Mini Vinnies, Coast Shelter. When things come up, we'll send out emails saying, hey, do you guys want to help out, hand out pamphlets, or we're running a barbecue, would you like to assist with that? Students can log up their hours from there. In terms of outside of school, if students are involved with cadets, surf lifesaving, maybe they coach a footy team, maybe they help out in the canteen, all those sorts of things can be logged as well. The hardest thing is actually making sure they're keeping a record as they go, rather than leaving it all the way until now, which is when students are actually getting all their hours in. Some students wait right to the end and it's really hard and they're trying to remember. So parents, we'd probably ask your support in encouraging students to keep a track record and logging them consistently, maybe once every term, getting those hours in. That would be fantastic if that could happen. So yeah. All right. There'll be an opportunity for questions at the end, and also just a reminder, if you do have a question and you'd like to maybe put it in the chat, please feel free to do that as well. So in terms of resources and where all the information for the JUMP program lives, there are a couple of places. So in the Year 7 Pastoral Google Classroom, we have popped in there, it looks like what you've got on the screen now. So the students can go under the JUMP tab and access a welcome video, which is similar to what we've got now, tells them where all the information is, how to log their hours with a step-by-step instructional video. There is also a summary sheet, the handbook, as you can see there, and a whole lot of other bits and pieces to support them. The other place for information is on the college website. So you'll see there on the left of your screen, I think it's on the left of your screen if that's correct, but you'll see there under the mission tab, then it says scroll down to social justice, and it then is where the JUMP webpage little tab is. That's where all the information, well, the little arrow just came up, but that's where all the information is found. Now, this is an outline of our award system. Now, I'm really excited about this, and I know a lot of students work hard for their JUMP hours because it's really achievable for them. So what I like is that it doesn't matter if they're the most, there's some kids that are really sporty, there's some kids that are really academic, but this is something that every child is able to achieve and work through right all the way to the top. So you don't need to be the smartest, you don't need to be the sportiest, but you just need to be really kind. You need to go out there, do your service, and you can get your name up on the honours board. And just today I had a couple of students come to me and say, oh, I've got 127 hours, miss, I can't wait. I'm going to get that next year and then the year after. And, you know, that's my goal, is to get my name up on that board, which is really, really exciting. So yes, it's for them, they have that goal, but they're also out there doing really good things in the world for others. So I really love that. So you'll see there, jump 15 hours. That's, you know, some students, they just do their 15 hours and that's fine. It only goes down to 5 hours for year 11, because obviously the complexities of their studies and stuff, though we have some students in year 11 who are still doing 50 to 100 hours as well. Now, what we've allowed, or I shouldn't say allowed, what we've changed over the past few years due to COVID is that we've increased the home-based hours. So there's two parts for student hours. There's in-school hours and there's outside of school hours, which include home-based hours. So parents, you can use these hours as well with your children. So if at home your son or your daughter helps to unstack the dishwasher, but that is something that they regularly do, then that should not be included in part of jump. That's their regular help around the house. However, if they perhaps mow the lawn, and that is not something that they normally do, then that is definitely something that they could include as part of jump. They're allowed to include hours up to a maximum of 10 hours of home-based activities. We're going to keep that for the time being because COVID has, as I mentioned, changed the ability for some of our programs to run. For example, going into nursing homes, going out to Camp Breakaway, which is actually closed at the moment. So it has reduced our ability to provide students access. So we've increased that. This is our jump summary sheet. So as I mentioned, I know this is a lot of information, but there's two ways for students to have their hours, as I mentioned, inside of school. So if they're doing things like mini Vinnies or YMCC, then those hours get logged straight into Compass, and either Miss Wells or myself or Sister Gigi validate those hours because we know, you know, we can see, or we've been with the students ourselves. However, if it's something outside of school, we need to be able to make a phone call, for example, to the Girl Guides supervisor and say, oh, hey, has Sally actually, was she part of that program? Just to make sure, not that, you know, we're saying students lie, but just to ensure, yes, oh, Sally did a fantastic job. She, you know, worked really hard during that time, or whatever it may be. And so all of the service or acts of kindness, things that students do outside of school, get logged on the summary sheet. That's why we say it's really important that students keep a regular record, because sometimes it's hard with the dates. We do say that if students they do keep a little bit, they get a little bit lost, then it's okay in the date column for them to write, for example, this was in term 4 or term 2, just to have a guide. The most important thing is they've got the name, the signature, and the contact number of the person that's signing off. Just a couple of things that we're really proud of in terms of our jump program. I mean, there's lots of things that our students have been doing, and I'm sure that you've already been seeing lots on our social media. And over the past 6 years, we've had our students go out and do amazing things in the community. But some big key things was, we had a student who was awarded New South Wales Volunteer of the Year, so Young Volunteer of the Year. And we've also had groups of students awarded for the Central Coast Council Young Ashoni of the Year Awards. And so each year we nominate students as part of this, and generally every year we have our students rewarded as well. So it's really exciting. As we've mentioned, not only do we have our award system to acknowledge our students and they receive badges for, but also to know that they're in the community being recognised for the wonderful work that they're doing is really exciting. Okay, so that's a lot of information, but we just want to open it to you guys as the parents. If you do have any questions or concerns that you perhaps would like to ask, now is your opportunity. Or if Mel or any of the other teachers have anything else that you'd like to maybe comment on.
Mrs. Baxter, Mrs. Tenev here. May I just...
Yes, you may. I'm just going to bring my screen.
While you're doing that, I
Go for it,
just
Ms.
wanted
Tenev.
to reiterate the importance of maintaining records. It's so easy, as in the busyness of the term, that, you know, at the moment I have a number of Year 10 and Year 8 students coming to me saying, oh, what, you know, can you remind me, what was I a part of? And I just fear that if students don't get into healthy habits now of, maybe they might have a Google Doc every time they do something, they can fill it in. Because, yeah, I just don't like the idea of students missing out on hours because they might have forgotten. So I know you've already said it, Mrs. Baxter, but I just wanted to reiterate and just make sure we're keeping good copies of good records of what we're doing.
Absolutely. Another thing that I recommend is with those log sheets, we've said to the students that it's a really good idea to actually, they can have them hard copies. So there's hard copies that the students can collect from eSwing, but the best way to do it is actually to download a digital copy, and they can save that to their Google Drive, and then they can just, it's on their iPad, and they can digitally just fill it out with their Apple Pen. So it's really quick and easy, and then they can save it in their iBooks, and it's ready to go all the time. Yeah.
Can I just add in there, thank you and the team, Michelle, for all the work you do with all of our students to support and encourage them in what is a very important part of our mission as a Catholic community. Being of service and reaching out to those who are in need is not only part of our Catholic tradition, but it's part of the DNA of every Australian. We are very well known as a nation for our culture of volunteering, and it's part of what builds a wholesome society. And so I encourage the parents to support your children in this, because at the end of the day, this is the kind of world they would like their children to grow up in. So for those students who are listening, give it your best shot and make sure your record keeping is nice and accurate. You wouldn't want to be doing hours that you forget about and you forget to have those logged. So Mrs. Tenev's point about good record keeping is also another good skill for life, because as I'm sitting here, I've been doing my records before the Zoom meeting and paying my bills. So yeah, it's just one of those things you've got to learn as you grow into emerging adulthood, or grow out of adulthood, which I think I'm more on that end of the scale. But yeah, I just want to encourage each and every one of you to enjoy the process, but to wholeheartedly get involved, because that's who we are as Australians and as Catholics. So thank you.
No worries.
Michelle, sorry, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just it might be self-explanatory when we see the forms, but is there a minimum interval, you know, if they help out for half an hour cooking a barbecue for mass, like is there a minimum time?
No.
Does it have to be an hour?
No, it doesn't have to be an hour. So the students can log half an hour at a time. They can log 20 minutes. So if it's on that log sheet, that's why it's really important they keep an accurate record as they go. It's just much easier. Yes.
Get signed off.
Yes, and then it's, so long as it's signed off by, if it's a parent or if it's at church or wherever it may be, it just needs to be signed off by a supervisor or someone that's there as the support person. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
No worries. Something else I just want to mention is, as we also have the award system, but I know the students were really excited, so I'll let the parents know. The students who receive their gold award, which is 50 hours, they actually get rewarded by going or attending Raging Waters in Sydney. So this has always been a really exciting opportunity for the students. Now, we haven't been able to attend for the past couple of years, but we're very hopeful this year that it will come back with COVID restrictions starting to ease a little bit. So hopefully for this Year 7 group moving into next year, it's something that you guys will definitely be able to look forward to. and hopefully achieve, for those of you that, you know, make that goal, you know, I want to achieve 50 hours, go out there doing really good things for the community at home. Okay, so there's different types of service that you hopefully will be engaged in, whether it be at school, at home, out in the community. And then even, you know, we've got an immersion that's happening next year. That is an opportunity that some of you guys can look forward to, maybe in Year 9. So, you know, we're starting to extend the opportunities for you guys, you know, beyond our borders of just the local community to, you know, our domestic borders and even our international borders as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys take those opportunities up.
Can I just add?
Yeah.
Hello. So the Year 7, some of them have raised in class that they're concerned about their outside hours. And I just want to say that not to worry, because as office runners for the school, they get 5 hours anyway. So as an introduction to community service, they shouldn't worry so much. And that as an introduction, they get their 5 hours. So they will meet their 10 hours at home and their 5 outside.
Yeah, thanks, Belinda. Yeah. All right. Well, are there
Any
more,
questions?
any questions?
Nothing in the chat.
No.
No.
All right. Well, this has been a really good meeting. One of the easiest meetings. All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time out to come and listen and hear more. If you do have any questions or you think of something later on and you'd like to, you know, contact either myself or Mrs. Wells, please feel free to email us, or also Mrs. Tenev and Sister Gigi are available, or obviously Julian if you prefer to go through pastoral coordinator. But we're here to support you guys, and we look forward to helping your children on their jump journey. So thank you for being here, and we'll be in touch. So thank you.